Where a judge sets bond at $1 million each for twin brothers accused of sex crimes. Investigators believe twins, 37-year-old Orin and Alon, used deception, fraud, and coercion to entice victims to travel with them or attend parties where the women were then drugged and raped by one or more of the brothers. Now, the twins have an older brother, 38-year-old Tal Alexander. Now, Tal and Orin are prominent luxury real estate brokers in Miami and New York. Authorities arrested the brothers Wednesday on charges related to sexual assault allegations in Miami and federal sex trafficking charges in New York. Now, the federal indictment accuses the trio of using their wealth to lure, drug, and rape women for over a decade, beginning in about 2010. Now, the twins appeared in court on both Thursday and today. Now, on Thursday, the twins were arraigned on state charges stemming from 3 separate cases of sexual battery. Now, the judge ordered the twins to be kept in custody until a bond hearing could be held on Friday.
That's going to stay as a no bond, correct?
That's correct. That's no bond. He's going to see the division judge tomorrow. The other 2 cases, the $25,000 bond plus house arrest, level 3 house arrest, which is GPS roaming, surrender of his passport or travel documents to his attorney prior to posting the bond. I don't need that on the jail card.
After learning his fate, Orin Alexander offered up this reason why he should be released to no avail.
No contact with that alleged victim, either directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by telephone, or through third parties, and stay at least 500 feet away from the victim. For contact with this alleged victim, either directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by telephone, or...
Your Honor, my wife is 9 months pregnant, due any day now with our first child. Her family's in Brazil. She's counting on me to be with her during labor.
That's something, you have a very good attorney. You're gonna have a hearing tomorrow before the division judge, and that judge will consider any argument regarding a bond.
Sure. For Alon Alexander, which is again F2425503B, the defendant will put up a personal surety of $2 million that will be secured with their home. 400 a mortgage. Hold on, let me read this. The home at 248 Val Bay Drive in Bal Harbor, Florida. There will be a corporate surety amount of $25,000. Alon Alexander shall be confined to house arrest level 3 with GPS monitor. There will be a stay away order from the victims. And then the other, it's in a written agreement, Judge, but I'm going to pass that forward
right now. Passport, you verified, has already been taken by the federal authorities.
Correct.
Just for the purpose of the clerk and corrections, the surrender of the passport is not a condition of release.
Judge, I guess the only thing we would have to address is if something happens to that federal case and they have their passports again, they will need to surrender those. If this case is for some reason still pending and that one is not.
But you yourself verified the federal authorities have his passport.
Yes.
All right, so in some, Mr. De Niro, it is a personal surety, but it is fully collateralized, right?
That's right. Well, it's collateralized, Your Honor. So it's a $2 million personal surety collateralized against his father's home, and the order explains itself, Your Honor, and it's been executed by Alon and his father Shlomi, who's present in court as well.
I mean, it goes without saying, Dad is a blood relative. So if something were to happen, such as he not appearing in court and meeting Mr. Alexander, the defendant Alexander, his father would lose real assets, correct?
$2 million, yes.
And I think this satisfies the state regarding the statutory factors of pre-trial release, which encompasses risk of flight, as well as the other factors that we're all familiar with, ties to the community, as well as dangers to treatment, correct?
Judge, that coupled with the house arrest, with the ankle monitor, yes.
So the court has to ratify it. I will ratify it. I mean, I am satisfied that these are reasonable conditions that you all have fashioned. They are based on the statutory factors. And in addition to the statutory factors that I just laid out, I am satisfied that this will ensure his appearance at future court dates. So I will sign off on that. The easier thing to do is to have copies of this made for corrections. So it is a monetary bond. So instead of the monetary bond that was set by the bond hearing judge, it's $2 million, right?
Yeah, on a loan, it's a personal surety of $2 million secured against the house of his father. And those are the conditions, monetary conditions, yeah.
Right, but the corrections is writing what down on their jail card that we've had for the last 4 years here.
Yes.
Paper jail card. What should they be writing down?
So it's house arrest plus $2 million.
No, it's actually house arrest plus.
No, I'm gonna make sure that it's written properly on the jail card, Your Honor. But it is $2 million personal surety in the event that my client willingly fails to appear, and the undertaking shall be secured by a $400,000 mortgage on the home of his father, Shlomi Alexander, and this home is located at 248 Bal Bay Drive, Bal Harbor.
All right, so you're hearing there the conditions. They're negotiating the conditions for them to be released. We have a surety bond of $25,000. Actually, it ends up being a $2 million personal surety against the father's house of the brothers, and who knows what that house is worth, but they're assuring $2 million. GPS monitor, house arrest, stay away order from any of the victims, and they have to turn over their passports. Apparently, they don't have them now anyway because they are in the custody of the federal courts. Let's bring in our guests quickly, still with us, Marie Pereira, Corey Pegues. Corey, I'll start with you. I want to get your thoughts quickly. When we talk about bail conditions in Florida, we're talking about severity of the crime is considered by the court. These are very serious allegations. Criminal history, danger to the community, flight risk, community ties. I don't know, these are not guys that I consider eligible for bond, but the judge thought so. What do you think?
Yeah, well, listen, we know bail is about if you're going to show back up in court. They took the passports. I don't think that these guys are not going to show up. Well, I want to tell every celebrity, every high-end celebrity in America right now, they need to call Russell Simmons and see if he can get them in Bali. They're coming for you. They're coming for you. The government is coming for all of you guys and women who have allegedly committed these types of crimes over the last few years or decades. They're coming back. The roosters, what they say, the roosters are coming home to roast or whatever they say. I mean, this is insane. This is not, it won't be the last time, but Russell Simmons was smart. He got out of here and said, I'm never coming back.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, Anne-Marie, the chickens are coming home to roost.
Chickens, not roosters.
and Marie, listen, look, and we also see in the federal charges, you know, they're not just coming back. I mean, they're coming back hard. I mean, we're talking about taking people from one place to another place across state lines. Feds get involved, and they're looking at this as trafficking. That's serious business.
And they are. And I know Diddy must be, look, this is very Diddy-like. Did anyone miss this? It's almost the same thing, except there's no Cassie tape. The same type of allegations, but they are getting out on bond. Diddy's probably hating on them right now and telling his family, contact that lawyer because ours is, you know, trash. He couldn't get me out. 3 times I tried, and these guys, they're getting out. And the allegations are almost identical. Like I said, minus, you know, the tape where you see where he's beating up Cassie and the fact that maybe he allegedly threatened some people. But it's the same facts. And they're out and he's locked up. And he had more resources and he had a bail put together package that was even deeper and willing to pay for his own security. And he's still shut down. So he's hating on them right now. And he's probably saying, it's because I'm black. You know.
Yeah, I mean, they might be screaming that, but Corey, let's be honest. The background and history of Diddy Combs, much worse than I would imagine these guys have. Although he has similar resources, he can do basically and reach wherever he wants. And also, while he was in prison, Corey, he's taking other people's numbers, making phone calls on their dime, paying them so he can do that and make the calls that he's not supposed to be making. Listen, Diddy is where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, but we can't classify. If I was Diddy, I'd be doing the same thing. I don't want to be in jail. I'm trying to get out of jail. But we can't really put on the scale sexual assault, right? The sexual assault, sexual abuse, it's the same. However they did it, they did it. But Marie brings up a great point. One person gets no bail. Do you understand that Diddy offered $50 million bail? Yep. He offered to give up his airplane. He offered to give up the passports of his entire family, all of his kids. Like, I just knew that Diddy was getting out. I never even saw a bail package like this. And these two guys are getting out, and it's almost the same charges, but
I will say this, they're actually not getting out now. Had there only been the state charges, they would have been getting out. But because of the federal charges, the Southern District of New York, the U.S. Attorney sent a letter to the court and said, look, we're coming after them, do not let them out. So they won't be getting out. But they might have gotten out if, in fact, they only face the state charges. So let's just remember that. There is some justice in the world, guys. All right, stand by. I do have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear the state's bail agreement for Alon Alexander and see if the judge will accept that one. So keep it here on Court TV. Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Michael Ayala. Back now to Florida for the bond hearing for the Alexander brothers. The twin brothers appeared before a judge today in hopes of getting pretrial release. The case of the Alexander brothers gained national attention after allegations against them were made public months ago. Orin and Tal Alexander had risen to stardom in luxury real estate after co-founding their real estate firm, Official, which specialized in high-end properties in Miami, New York, and Los Angeles. Well, today, a judge approved the bail agreement for Orin first.
And I think this satisfies the state regarding the statutory factors of pretrial release, which encompasses risk of flights, as well as the other factors that we're all familiar with, ties to the community, as well as dangers to treatment, correct?
Judge, that coupled with the house arrest, with the ankle monitor, yes.
So the court has to ratify it. I will ratify it. I mean, I am satisfied that these are reasonable conditions that you all have fashioned. They are based on the statutory factors. And in addition to the statutory factors that I just laid out, I am satisfied that this will ensure his appearance at future court dates. So I will sign off on that.
All right, so the judge signed off on it, and just to be clear, they are facing federal charges, so if they ever end up being released on the state charges, they'll go right into federal custody. Well, now it's Alon Alexander's turn, so let's go back inside that Miami courtroom as the state goes over Alon's bail conditions.
There will be a personal surety of $3 million in the event he fails to appear. That will be secured by, again, a mortgage on Alon Alexander's home, which I read into the record previously.
And that is his father.
That's his father's
blood relative?
Yes. There will be, in case F24 to 5504, there is a corporate surety in the amount of $25,000, again, issued by Mr. Zemlot. In F24 to 5507, there is a corporate surety amount in the amount of $25,000 issued by Roy Zemlot. There is, again, house arrest, level 3 with GPS monitor. There's a stay-away order from the victims in all 3 cases. And he shall surrender his passport, which we also have confirmed that the federal government has his passports. However, if for some reason that changes, anytime in the future, they need to be surrendered.
I think I missed if there's a corporate surety bond on the third case. I caught two $25,000 on 2 cases. Is there a third corporate surety bond?
There isn't, just the personal judge.
Because that was the one that was held for pretrial detention.
Correct.
So, am I issuing a corporate surety bond, or am I allowing him to release that house arrest with an alternate bond or no bond? How does that work? Unless you feel comfortable stipulating to also $25,000 on that third case.
He could do $25,000 on the third case.
Okay, we'll agree to that.
Okay. So it's $25,000 in all 3 cases. The personal surety guarantee by the blood relative, which is the father, is $3 million. And again, if he were to flee, for example, his father would actually lose that amount that is backed by real property. So on all three cases, it's $25,000 plus house arrest plus $25,000 bond. Level 3, waiving fees. It is also guaranteed by the personal surety of $3 million. And again, this satisfies the state based on the statutory factors of pretrial release, which we all know, and I'll just repeat it again for the record, the risk of flight, danger to the community, and also to ensure his presence in future court dates, right?
Yes, Judge.
So, as I said with the other co-defendants, I reviewed this as well as the statutory factors. I will ratify it. I do believe these are reasonable conditions. In addition to the safety of the community, as well as ties to the community, it will ensure his presence at future court dates. So I'll sign off on it.
The justification for 5,007 and 5,004 has also plus the 25.
Correct.
Yes.
And the state leaders remain correct. We've already said that. The passport has been surrendered, and federal authorities have it. And these are the same condition as the co-defendants. This doesn't get him released either because there is a U.S. marshal hold.
That's correct.
And what do you anticipate happening on the federal side?
Well, I anticipate him being brought over to district court in Miami, both of them being brought over to district court in Miami, and then having a pretrial detention hearing, just like we're having today.
And you also want a 12/16 date?
I do.
So 12/16 at 10 a.m. report a bond review?
Yes.
And that's for the purpose of making sure that the bondsman has verified the surety documents. We'll review them together, and if they're all in order, then I'll ratify. Then I will also make that condition of release having been satisfied.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else we have to address?
Your Honor, just to go about getting a copy of today's proceeding.
So Judge Jean granted a $3 million bond to Orin and a $2 million bond to Alon. Now, even though the judge granted bail to both brothers, again, they won't be released from custody while facing a separate federal sex trafficking case. As I said, the U.S. attorney from the Southern District of New York wrote a letter to the court saying they will be transferred to federal custody after their initial appearance on state charges if they are released. So again, they're not being released, although they agreed to it in state court. All right, coming up on Court TV, we'll listen to details of the indictment that led to the arrests of the millionaire real estate brothers. So keep it here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Tonight, on closing arguments, a kayaker who allegedly faked his own death and fled the country is now in custody. We're diving deeper into this case as our experts weigh in.
Closing arguments tonight at 8, 7 Central, only on Court TV. Join Court TV's Vinny Politan with the latest and breaking true crime stories.
Now, let's look at the other side of all of that.
Vinny Politan Investigates tonight, 9, 8 Central, only on Court TV.
The indictment alleges that between at least 2010 and at least 2021, the Alexander brothers worked together and with others to repeatedly and violently drug, sexually assault, and rape dozens of female victims.
The Department of Justice announced its arrest of the Alexander brothers earlier this week. Now that we know the results of today's bond hearing, let's take a closer look at the indictment against the millionaire siblings that led to federal sex trafficking charges.
The Alexander brothers reside primarily in New York and Miami, and as alleged, Orin and Tal Alexander were real estate agents who focus on ultra-luxury markets. Alon Alexander, who was Orin's twin, was an executive of a private security firm owned and operated by his family. As alleged, the defendants used their wealth and positions to create and facilitate opportunities to sexually assault women. In particular, Orin and Tal Alexander allegedly used their prominent positions in the real estate industry to induce women to come to events and parties. At those parties, and sometimes afterwards, the women were sexually assaulted by one or more of the defendants. As alleged in the indictment, for years, the Alexander brothers, sometimes with others, also arranged domestic and international trips to carry out their sex trafficking scheme. To recruit and induce women to come on the trips, they provided material benefits, things like travel to vacation destinations, luxury accommodations, and access to other high-end experiences. As alleged, the Alexander brothers met their trafficking victims through a variety of means: in person, over social media, on dating apps, and through social connections. At times, they allegedly used their social connections or the guise of starting a relationship to lure women into their orbit. The indictment alleges that after meeting their victims, the Alexander brothers would invite the victims to a vacation property or location. The Alexander brothers and other men they planned the trips with paid for the flights or accommodations for the women on these trips. And at times, the defendants handpicked the women to invite. At other times, they used paid party promoters to source women for them. The indictment also alleges that in advance of these events, the Alexander brothers and others procured drugs that they agreed to provide to the women, including cocaine, mushrooms, and GHB. As we allege, these drugs caused some of the women to be physically unable to fight back or to escape. Then, as alleged, the Alexander brothers, sometimes acting alone, sometimes with each other, and sometimes with other men, forcibly raped and assaulted the women. As the indictment alleges, the Alexander brothers' sex trafficking agreement went beyond the planned trips and events. On numerous occasions, one or more of the defendants drugged and raped or sexually assaulted women they encountered by chance, at bars, at nightclubs, social events, and dating apps. These assaults allegedly had many of the same hallmarks as the rapes that occurred at group events: isolated locations, drugged victims, force, and physical restraint. As of today, law enforcement has interviewed dozens of women who reported being forcibly raped or sexually assaulted by at least one of the Alexander brothers. This conduct, as alleged, was heinous. I stood here several months ago and made clear that this office is firmly committed to prosecuting individuals who exploit and abuse women. I meant what I said. With our law enforcement partners, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. And let me add this: we are not done. I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do so quickly. You can call 212-384-2700. You can also email at alexander-case@fbi.gov.
All right, joining us still to discuss our defense attorney, former Assistant District Attorney Marie Pereira, and retired NYPD executive and author of Once a Cop, Corey Pegues. Corey, I'll start with you because he sort of echoed what you said earlier. Any of you celebrities out there, any of you high-profile folks trying to pull this stuff, you better look out. We're not done. We're coming after you as well.
Listen to this: alexander.case.com. Insane. They gave him a whole handle. So you already know you're going to have victims coming out of the woodworks. Then you're going to have people making up stories. These guys are done. There's two things that I just noticed, and y'all probably noticed it too. Damian Williams, this will probably be his last case. I think he's out of there in a couple of days. Remember, he resigning. I think he resigns on the 14th, or what, today's the 13th. Yeah. This will be his last outgoing case. And don't think for a minute that these guys weren't at Puffy's parties. Remember, I'm here in New York. We're here in New York. I've been to Hampton parties. It's a small circle of these people. Now, hold on. Before I say I've been to Hampton
exactly,
parties,
I'm saying you better
on television.
For a second,
yeah,
Corey,
I want to make sure that people don't know I wasn't at no Diddy party. Okay. But it's a small. Hamptons are small. And the rich stay with the rich. They all. So I'm thinking, I'm like, these guys might have been at Diddy parties, and vice versa. Diddy might have been at their parties.
Yeah, no question. They're all getting these ideas from each other. You know, what was really particularly heinous about these crimes is the way the indictment sort of stated it. These were all planned. I want to give you a little bit more insight into that indictment. This is part of the superseding indictment against the brothers. And it claims that on some occasions, after the women accepted the invitations to attend a particular event, the Alexander brothers transported women and caused women to be transported across state and international lines. The defendants and other men attending the trips pooled financial resources in order to pay for flights and other travel expenses for women. In advance of the events, the Alexander brothers and others procured drugs that they agreed to provide to the women, including, among other things, cocaine, mushrooms, and GHB. On multiple occasions during these trips, events, and other things, the Alexander brothers and others surreptitiously drugged women's drinks. Some of the victims experienced symptoms of impaired physical and mental capacity, including limitations of movement and speech and incomplete memories of the events. And you know, when you look at the situation, Marie, these are not bad-looking guys. They've got all the money in the world that you would need. They've got access, all the things you want. Women cannot possibly be a problem for these guys, yet this is what they do. And in the federal indictment, they claim they think this has been going on since high school with these guys. This has nothing to do with sex, Marie. This is an illness. This is a sickness.
It's about control. And reading, if I close my eyes and I didn't hear the name Alexander, it's a copy and paste for Sean Combs. Same thing, same exact thing. They procured people to help recruit the girls. They screened them. They had people helping them. The rapes were just heinous, putting people to sleep, paralyzing them, and then they wake up somewhere raped and confused. Same thing, it's a copy and paste situation, and they are going down. I'm surprised that they got bail. They're probably thinking our lawyers are so fly, they got us bail in state court. You know what? When we get to federal court, we're going to make a bail application. And the fact that the state court said we're good to go and we're safe to be out, the federal court might consider it. Let's wait and see what happens over there. But it's the same exact allegations minus the BO. And I don't mean body odor, it's baby oil.
I'm sure there was some of that there too. I mean, we didn't get down into
but
that.
Mike, what about?
But wait, I want to say something, Corey, before you go on, because what we found out today, and I just found out, was that Tal, the oldest brother, went into federal court in Miami on the charges, and he was not released. They found him to be a flight risk. You know, federal court is a different game, Maria, as you know. And again, Diddy's charges are federal as well, as you said. They mirror what we're hearing here. Go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, we're reading the indictment. You see, they keep saying the twins and others and others. So are we going to see some more arrests, Mike, Marie? Because they constantly kept saying others getting the drugs, others pooling the money, others transporting. But this is what I hate about the police side. They're gonna take the celebrities first. You know, the celebrities got locked up, make this a big case. But what about all these others? Why they don't just do a whole dragnet, Mike?
Well, here's what I think, and Marie, you can tell me if you agree with me. I think a lot of them have been talked to already. They've been threatened, so they know that they have the goods on these guys based on those other people that they know were there.
Yeah. Absolutely, and people are lawyering up. People are preparing, and like Corey said, prepare yourself, because you know if you were there. You know if you're the others. You know if you booked a flight, arranged hotels. You know if you aided and abetted and penetrated. It is what it is. Yeah. You're going down.
Yeah, you're going down. I wish you luck, Corey. I hope everything's all right with you, man. We like having you as a guest. We like having you as a guest on the show, my man.
So I'm hoping
I'll keep it. Nah, Corey, we know you're good.
I put my foot in my mouth for that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marie Pineda, Corey Pegues, thank you so much for being with me tonight. Always a pleasure to have you guys on the show.